Most real estate agents don't fail. They don't quit. They drift. They get busy, they get distracted, and over time, they move away from the habits that actually built their business. Before they realize it, years have passed, and the business still feels harder than it should. Hey agents, Drew here. After more than 20 years in this business, one thing has become very clear to me. Real estate success isn't complicated, but it's very easy to lose alignment. A lot of agents assume that people who succeed must have some kind of advantage. Connections, family in the business, perfect timing. And when you believe that, it becomes easy to explain why things haven't fully clicked yet. But most of the time, that's not what's happening. What I've seen is that success in real estate is rarely about advantage. It's about direction and staying connected to it over time. Drift doesn't start with a big failure. It starts quietly. We live in a world that rewards convenience. Everything is faster, easier, instant. And while that's great for comfort, it's terrible for focus. You pick up your phone for a minute and suddenly a half hour is gone. I've been there myself. That's usually how drift begins, not with a mistake, but with small distractions that slowly pull you off course. There's also another part of this that rarely gets talked about. Most of what actually moves a real estate business forward isn't difficult. It's just easy to deprioritize. Follow-up, routine, communication, staying consistent when things feel quiet. Things don't feel urgent, they don't feel exciting, but they're foundational. When everything else feels important, these are usually the first things to slide, and drift fills the gap. Another common place drift shows up is in preparation. Waiting for the right time, the right CRM, the right plan, getting ready to get ready. But clarity rarely comes before action. It usually comes from it. Progress doesn't require perfection, it requires movement in the right direction. And then there's fear. Not the kind that stops people outright, but the kind that slows them down just enough. Fear of sounding salesy, fear of bothering people, fear of getting it wrong. That kind of fear doesn't shut things down. It just gives drift more room to operate. Drift doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with a warning sign. It just quietly pulls people away from what actually works. Over time, I've noticed that the agents who interrupt drift the earliest tend to share a few quiet patterns. Not because they're smarter, not because they've had better opportunities, but because they recognize what's happening sooner. If you felt this before, you're not broken and you're not alone. Awareness is usually the first interruption. I'll see you in the next one.